Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. This for the recording, the whole chanting we have done. Okay, yeah. Okay, one point I wanted to make. Last class I explained a lot of stuff of how to personalize it and everything. Today I received a call. Swamiji, what is this big Adhyasa, small Adhyasa? What is big Adhyasa, small Adhyasa? I said there is no big Adhyasa, small Adhyasa. I use that expression. I use that expression big Adhyasa, small Adhyasa only to make you all understand that the main Adhyasa we are talking about is Atma Anatma Adhyasa. Other things are ramifications, your erroneous thinking, etc., your behavior patterns. It is good that she came and the question was addressed to me. Imagine going to another teacher. Let us say Swami Sakshat Kritananji or Paramarthananji. Or Swamiji, what is big Adhyasa, small Adhyasa? Big Adhyasa, what big Adhyasa? There is nothing. But Swamiji, our teacher used it. It's all ashastriya. So sometimes a thing is said only to explain, make you all understand something. Okay? How one is Adhyasa, others are ramifications of it. So don't take it as this is what the Shastra is saying, there is big Adhyasa, there is small Adhyasa. What the Shastra is saying is printed out and given to you all. Okay? Otherwise ऐसा सब गोलमाल हो जाएगा. Okay? Having said that much, let us get into the any questions, clarification before I go ahead about paratra pararupa smriti rupa adhyasa avabhasa paratra para avabhasa smriti rupa purvadrishtaha. Up to that we are done. Any questions, clarifications, or it is all clear? Yeah. Yeah. Adhyasa is always on you only, na? Where else is Adhyasa? Yeah, always. One second. You remember, Adhyasa starts with me, correct? Me, not me. But when you are saying not me, is that Adhyasa or not Adhyasa? When you say this is world, is that Adhyasa or not Adhyasa? That is it. One second. Who makes Adhyasa? Tell me. A sentient being or an insentient being? So that's you. So Adhyasa is always personal. Adhyasa always is with the self. Even if I am making a mistake outside, who is making that mistake? Me. So I am the Adhyasa-van Purusha. I am mistaking a rope for a snake. Who is mistaking? I am mistaking. So one second. So in this example, seer-seen relationship is there. Is Atma-Anatma Adhyasa automatically there? Because without that, how did the seer-seen division come up? One second, let me handle one at a time. Yeah, then?
So Adhyasa is that I am this much.
Yeah.
And also that I and the other.
Exactly. Your whole vyavahara depends on Adhyasa. Your whole vyavahara. Without Adhyasa, there is no vyavaharika satyam. Without Adhyasa, there is nothing called vyavaharika. That is why he said, Naisargikoyam loka vyavahara. Right from beginningless time, this loka vyavahara is going on. Your transactional reality is going on because of Adhyasa. This is what is taken as real by people. That is Adhyasa. Adhyasa is not that there is a transactional world. Adhyasa is taking it as real. Yeah. See, Anatma is imposed in the Atma, that is total. Atma that is on the Anatma is what? Partial only, no? Guna, it's only the gunas of Chaitanyam, etc. is imposed. Whereas the other way around, it is total, Arthadhyasa it is. Completely total. Whereas the other way around is partial. Yeah. Because I see myself as body, mind, etc. So the body, mind imposed on me is totality. Total body is imposed on me, not part of the body. But when you say Atma is imposed on the body, do you take the body is infinite? No. So only the Chetanatvam, only that so-called dharma.
So I have one question. In the last lecture when you said Atma is imposed on the body, the
Yeah.
Shunyavada you talked about.
What was that?
Shunyavada.
I will explain. Those things I will explain now.
Okay.
Yeah. You had a question, Sunita.
So it is like the Adhyasa is always on the Ahankara, and the Ahankara itself is the biggest Adhyasa.
Ahankara is the Adhyasa.
Yeah, and everything else
Follows
When
through.
Once
Yes.
I say I am this, then
Yeah.
the Bhagavad
Correct. What you take is Ahankara itself is Adhyasa. That is why Satyam, Anityam, Mithani Krutya. Mixing up real and unreal. Body, etc. does not have absolute reality. So mixing it up, that's why you get something called Ahankara. And your whole functioning life is based on Ahankara. No? Mithya, Adhyasa. So very important to understand that. Rope snake alone is not Adhyasa. That's an example. Adhyasa is right here. My feeling of finitude is Adhyasa. Taking myself as a human being is Adhyasa. Then I said ramifications come up from there. All my erroneous thinking, this, everything, all that. Where my functioning gets compromised by the ramifications of this Adhyasa. Yeah. Because I can be a finite being but being clear thinker. Or I can be a finite being with distorted thinking. Some amount of distortions is natural. Growing up, you pick up things. So it's natural. The way you are treated, etc., all the thing comes into the picture. Even in the birth order of children, there is a different Adhyasa coming. Eldest responsibility is thrust. Yeah. Youngest becomes pampered or a lost soul. And the youngest always have to fight to get what she wants or he wants. Yeah. So either you learn to be a people pleaser, because to get what you want, they are bigger than you, etc., older than you. Therefore, you start pleasing and getting what you want. Or you'll end up being controlling, fighter cock, etc. All this is what? Ramifications of initial Adhyasa. Ramifications of it.
So Swamiji, can we say that Adhyasa is the ramification of Avidya?
Yeah, because there can be no Adhyasa without Avidya coming into the picture. If I know the rope is a rope, I will never make a mistake that it is a snake. So the fundamental thing, like see, you may say, why did you see the snake? You can give 101 psychological reasons. You're afraid of snakes. No, I come from Mallu land, we worship snakes. No. I am an animal lover, therefore I love snakes. So there can be all these type of reasons why you saw a particular thing. But all that is possible only if avidya is there. After that it is smriti rupa purva drishta. Purva drishta has been seen by you before, and smriti tulyaha is equal to your memory. It's only a thought projection.
Just after the birth means from the birth itself, right? Your religion,
Yeah.
name, everything is
You're born because of Adhyasa. So let us say this. Yeah. Exactly. Not only that. Let us say you die now. You have not gained knowledge. And this person dies. Does the Adhyasa continue with him or doesn't continue with him? Because I am a jiva. Abhi kidhar jana hai yaar? Oh, there is a path opening up for me. I am supposed to go to that dimension. There is some escort also available. Chalo. Adhyasa na, I am finite character, I have to go to the other dimension. Oh, there I met my people who have gone before me, etc., etc., etc. अच्छा लगा. But I left people behind. थोड़ा वो भी हो जाएगा. Then I review my life. Oh my God, क्या क्या किया यार, क्या क्या गोलमाल किया. Life में क्या क्या गोलमाल किया. A life review is always there. Your life will flash in front of you. So now with that new understanding, you settle down into your new environment. Adhyasa. The people around this, that, oh, I didn't know this dimension of reality was there. Now this dimension of reality is there. Good. Uska baad kya? There is still something after that, no? Yeah. Then you are born again. Yatha karma, yatha jnanam, you are born. There also Adhyasa continues, no? Because avidya was there before, avidya is there later. So in this birth also avidya and Adhyasa continues. This goes on. Naisargikoyam. Beginningless time onward, this goes on. No escape. So Adhyasa will get a different color in this lifetime, that's all. Right? Last time I was in Tibet, this lifetime I am in India. इतने फर्क है. Get a new lifetime. Yeah. But Adhyasa continues. Yeah. That time also I am body, this time also I am body. Yeah. So those things will continue. Then the variety comes in your distortions. What last time I was presented as a ramification of Adhyasa or small Adhyasas happening. Yeah. If you are born in India, you will say, maybe we and Pakistan should try to coexist. But it's difficult. Huh? We have fought 3 battles with them. If you are born in a fanatic family across the border, you will say, you'll never live with them together. We should make them also Muslim. Make them also like us. Those are all the individual variations that come after the fundamental Adhyasa is there. That is the influence of your environment that creates that. And that can be there only because the initial Adhyasa is there. Those small things will keep changing. The fundamental thing will keep continuing. Yeah. Fundamental thing will continue. Yeah. Whatever new distortions you pick up, that will be yours. Cultural context, this context, so many contexts. Yeah.
How do you explain prayers as Adhyasa?
Huh?
Prayers as Adhyasa. Like
Prayers and Adhyasa. Prayer is also part of Adhyasa only. Deliberate. See, there is something called deliberate Adhyasa. In the river, you found a nice oval shaped stone. Arey, Swayambhu Linga. Now, when you are calling it Swayambhu Linga, isn't that a cultural Adhyasa? Then you come, make a pita for it, bury it in the pitha, half above, half below, then do prana pratishtha. All that is deliberate adhyasa. Why? Even though you are saying that is a linga, that is Ishvara, that is Shiva, you know what you are seeing is a stone. Does that change? When you see the linga in the ashram temple, do you see the stone or do you not see the stone? You see the stone. Would you take it as a linga? No, that is deliberate aropa. You are doing a deliberate aropa, shastriyam aropa. So that's not called adhyasa except deliberate. Yeah? Exactly. You are using it as a symbol now. Yeah. And because you have done prana pratishtha, etc., the energies of Ishvara are available right there in a special way. Ishvara, everything is Ishvara. But you are putting this stone as Ishvara, the special prana pratishtha, etc., is done. There is a special glory manifest there. That is deliberate adhyasa. So that's why we don't call it adhyasa, because adhyasa is ajnana purvakam. Here jnanam of adhishyanam is there. Yeah.
So why is it just this point? Jnana, I didn't get this last point.
Adhyasa is always ajnana purvakam. Here there is jnanam, that is stone. Na? When you are doing a prana pratishtha, you know on a stone you are doing prana pratishtha. Yeah. So adhisthana jnanam is there. Yeah, you are saying.
Probably this question comes because everything is adhyasa. So there is something like prayers, which you are this, but there is nothing good or bad about it because that is what which leads
Exactly.
to an inquiry.
So why do you do it?
So it's not that it's useless. So
No.
adhyasa is useless.
So why do you? So you are doing a deliberate prayer until you can understand the whole thing. Why are so much of? Now look at it. Most Upanishads, when you do an Upanishad, etc., you will do the Shanti mantra applicable to that Upanishad. For Brahma Sutras, what are we doing? 10 Shanti mantras. That means all Upanishads are covered. Why? Because Brahma Sutra is analysis of all the Upanishads. So all 10 Shanti mantras. Then acknowledgement of Guru, Vyasa, Shankara, etc. Then Dakshinamurti Stotram on top of it. Why? All this grace I need to call the bluff of Ishvara. Because I am calling Ishvara's bluff. Yeah, Ishvara spun a bluff. बंदा को थोड़ा चक्कर में डाल देगा, देखा सबको नाच नचाया. You also sing those bhajans ना, ऋषियों को मुनियों को सबको नाच नचाया. गाने में अच्छा लगता है. This is a नाच नचाना. एक चलो बहु श्याम प्रजा ये थी maybe.
Very important to be objective and understand its functional importance.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean you don't take it seriously. Yeah, you have to take it seriously. Yeah. So even when the wise person is setting up a temple, he takes it seriously. Yeah, prana pratishtha, everything has to be done properly, arranged everything. Yeah. Then that has to be kept going. So in this context, what can be going? Yeah. Like the first time we did prana pratishtha in Rishikesh, it was loka vyavahara purely. Why? Pujari nahi milta hai. If you do any other pratishtha, then you have to do proper pujas. Here whoever is available. One old sadhu was available. Old means that time he was about 50-year-old, that's all. 45, 50. Yeah. So he said, okay, I'll do the puja. But he was staying there and he was taken care of. So he used to do the puja. Half the time he'll forget something. Oh, ulta. Doesn't matter. Because loka vyavahara pratishtha hai na, kuch problem nahi hai usme. You do as you want, it's okay. Then 2 boys came to stay in the ashram because this man by that time was getting too old to do all that. So these 2 boys started doing the puja. But they were not pujaris or something like that. They also just picked up Shodasha Acharya Puja, they knew. Shodasha Upachara Puja, they knew, so they were doing it. Both of them are sannyasis now and teachers of Vedanta. They came to the ashram, found such a beautiful place. Swamiji idhar reh sakta hai. Somewhere in 84 this was. Swamiji said, Shuddhanand was said, हाँ ठीक है रह जाओ, लेकिन दोनों से एक कोई भी इधर हर टाइम रहना चाहिए, मंदिर का पूजा करें. हाँ, so both of them stayed and both of them took turns. Yeah. And I had a habit of picking up this rubber Kolhapuri chappal from Bombay when I was. So every time I used to come to Bombay and go back once in 6 months something, I'll pick up this. So one of those boys will always come up and say, Swamiji, this is your old slipper, no? I'm taking it. I said, take. I know you would have bought a new one from her. You start using that. This I will use now. It's still in good condition, okay? Okay, use. I'll give you a new one. No, I don't want a new one. I'll take this. Both of them are teachers now, Vedanta Acharyas. They're doing some work for the Aim for Seva and all that. Yeah. But this is all. So, the Shodasha Acharya Puja was enough for that time. Recently, we did a proper Pratishtha, etc. Vedika Pratishtha we did. Because every 12 years you do a Kumbhabhishekam, no? So that time we changed the Pratishtha. Why? Because now priests are there, proper priests are there to do it. You've seen those two characters there. So watch them if you want when you come for the camp. You see proper puja has been done. So all that is deliberate adhyasa. Because deliberate, adhisthana jnanam is there, we don't call it as adhyasa. But in a way it is. Only thing is deliberate. Yeah. The whole world is superimposed on Ishvara, no? On consciousness, on Brahman, no. So what is not adhyasa? Huh? Beg your pardon? Which is extension? Dreams, yes. Pratibhasikam, no? They are pratibhasikam. Subjective, highly subjective. Now look at it. Even in the world. What is there? Jalebi. I love jalebi. That I love it is pratibhasika adhyasa, na? Oh, I can't stand it, it's too sweet. It's presented as raga dvesha, but isn't there another form of adhyasa? No? Yeah. Shobhana adhyasa it's called. You are adding some quality, it's a sweet. It is too sweet. Huh? Yeah. Yeah, correct. Yeah. What do you mean too sweet? Sweet is sweet. जलेबी फाफड़ा खाता है कि नहीं? शोभना adhyasa. I can't stand it. I love it. Both are shobhana adhyasas. Shobhana adhyasa to an extent is managed through karma yoga buddhi, yeah. And also a lot of developing objectivity. Both are necessary. That objectivity is very necessary. Viveka Vairagya, that's important. In terms of raga dveshas, you can manage it with this thing. But finally you have to come to the conclusion of being objective about it. No? Yeah. So that objectivity helps you manage Shobhana adhyasa. So the whole thing puts the picture. So whole vyavahara, everything is based on this adhyasa alone. That's a big picture. Okay, yeah. So be careful of that big adhyasa, small adhyasa thing. Yeah. Huh?
Small adhyasa is what the 3%.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what Purvata Pava Purva Drishtaha Avabhasaha. Yeah. All right. After this. Okay.
So Swamiji,
Yeah.
there are more and more superimpositions on the
Yeah, yeah. So one is the adhyasa, the others are all ramifications from that. Yeah. So see, that it is a rope itself is adhyasa. I am a finite being, seeing a rope is adhyasa. Then on top of it you are making another adhyasa. That rope is a snake. Isn't that is one more level of adhyasa, really speaking? But we generally give rope snake example for adhyasa because that works at that level. So you understand what adhyasa is. But the rope itself is adhyasa. I am finite is an adhyasa. If I am finite, seeing the rope is adhyasa, then mistaking it for a snake is second level adhyasa. No? Adhyasa on top of adhyasa.
And getting fearful about it also another adhyasa.
Yeah, then after that adhyasa, what Falguni said is that your emotions come up. That is other adhyasa, na? To be scared of it, to be afraid of that snake. There's again another ramification. So can you see? The example is normally for adhyasa, vyavahara examples are given because that is within your experience, your understanding. Then that is extended to understand myself. That this is what is happening here also. Satyam, Anurtam, Mithini, Kritya, their adhyasa has happened. All right. Then ramification. Clear up to now? Okay. Shall we go ahead then? Okay. Now, what he does is, there are something known as panchakhayati. Khyati is how you know things. Khyati is knowledge. How you know. So here is panchakhayati. Okay. In the sense, every school of thought in India recognizes one fact. The world is not what it seems to be. All inquiry, philosophical, scientific, religious, or any other, comes into being because you know the world is not exactly what it appears to be. If that basic presumption is not there, there will be no inquiry. Yeah. There will be no inquiry. So you look at things and wonder at things. Everyone wonders at the world. The theoretical physicist is paid for wondering at the world because he does that wondering in a mathematical manner. But mathematics is only a language. Really speaking, mathematics is a language of expressing some things. Yeah, it's a metaphysical, it's a meta language. Yeah. Like writing your computer codes. It's a meta language. The first meta language that was created, was what? I, un, ril, rug, a, aung, aich, h-o-y, o. First meta language. Huh? Maheshwara Sutrani. Sanskrit grammar. Starting of Sanskrit grammar. Why? From the language, you're grouping the alphabets in such a manner that you get a set. Yeah. So, that's why really speaking, if you want to do computer coding, etc., use Sanskrit. Because very precise evolution of language takes place. Then you can replace all other languages available with that language. There will be created dialectics. Yeah, really speaking, it can work. Anyway, that apart. Yeah?
This wondering of the world, when exactly did it start? Like the cavemen
It came and also wandered in the world. No? See,
It was a starting point. Like, I mean,
there is no starting point.
how
At
to get into an inquiry?
see the moment human beings, you started getting self-aware, and we are aware of subject-object divisions very clearly. And you started looking at the world, you started wondering about the world. What is this? What is that? Yeah. You notice patterns. A lot of heat here. Then relief came in form of rains. Then after that it started getting cold. Why is this happening? You know, why is this happening? You mean to say the primitive man didn't wonder about it? Of course he would wonder about it. Why? Because he used it. He used it. Abhi rainy season hai yaar, hardly any food is, plant life is not a vegetable available. So before the rains come again, we have to now start storing food, plant food. You have to make pickles out of it. You start preserving it. Then what will help preserve it? All that is wondering at the world. Huh? It started with basic needs of survival. Yeah. So from that time onwards, you know, what is seen is not what is always real. Though sometimes observations didn't have much meaning. They got corrected. Arey yaar, that coconut fell down from the tree. But before it fell, I saw an eagle flying over it. The second time also saw eagle flying, the coconut fell. Second one fell. So whenever an eagle falls, the coconut falls. So then my kid is playing there. Hey, step out, step out. Why? An eagle is around. If it flies over a coconut. But this time when it falls around, it didn't fall. Huh? So sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. No, connection nahi hai. Because you saw it happening quite a few times. In fact, most of the time eagle flies and doesn't fall. There is no connection. This is how inquiry and things started.
But Swamiji, to be very honest, this fallacy, we are laughing at it, but it is so true.
Yeah.
We used to say when platelets are down, it's deadly. Now there are million things which cause low platelets.
Exactly.
Platelets come down, everybody's like dengue. I said, no, it's not dengue. No.
Yeah, correct. Everything is not what it seems to be. And therefore, people built up philosophies to explain the world. Really speaking, science is another philosophy. But we call it science because some sort of experimental verification is done. Some sort. That's why you have theoretical physicists and experimental physicists. These guys are the more practical characters. Okay. Though it's the theoretical physicist that gains more respect for whatever reason. But so everyone recognized that the world is not what it seems. So you gave some explanations. Okay. And these explanations are used to explain away error also. Erroneous. Yeah. Why did you make that? So there are 5 clear-cut schools about it. One division is asatkhayati. The whole thing is not true. The other is satkhayati. Everything you see is true. There is nothing like adhyasa. And there is the 5th one is these are 2 groups covering 4. The 5th one is anirvachane khyati, that is Vedanta. Okay. Because when Vedanta says it is adhyasa and it is sat asadbhyam anirvachaneyam, it cannot be categorized as sat or it cannot be categorized as asat. Why? Simple premise. Asat chet na pratiyete. If it was totally not there, you would not see it. You don't see. If what you see is true, sat chet na bhadyate, it cannot be negated. But adhyasa is negated. Therefore, you cannot categorize it as sat or asat. Why not both? Sat and asat both. A same thing cannot be sat and asat. So this seems to have some in-between thing, because it is negated, at the same time it is seen. So we will say sat asadbhyam anirvachaniyam. You cannot categorize it as sat or asat, it is in between. This is how Vedanta looks at it. Okay? Now, what about the other schools? So you have one statement. Okay? Tam kechid anyatra anya dharma adhyasaha iti vadanti. Anyatra anya dharma adhyasaha iti vadanti. You seeing some, okay? Anyatra, something else. Anya dharma adhyasaha. Okay? All right. This view can belong to the Bhatta, Mimamsakas, can also belong to Nyaya Vaisheshikaha, and it can also belong to the Kshanika Vijnanavadin. Okay. So, what khyati this will be? Okay. This is Anyata khyati. Okay, Anyatha khyati and also Atma khyati. Two things come here, Anyatha khyati and Atma. We will see how it is. What is Anyatha khyati? Okay, this is the Nayayika talking now. Okay, it's simple. Okay. When you see, let us say, examine, imagine, this is a jar of amla pickle. What is this? Amla pickle. You know how amla pickle is, no? मुंह में पानी आता है नहीं आता है okay, you are getting the taste even though you have not tasted it. Why? You have tasted it before. Similarly, this is called alaukika pratyaksham in Nyaya. Okay? One girl sitting down there in that corner is wearing a rose, and I'm getting the smell, the fragrance of rose. It is too far for me to smell it here. Alaukika pratyaksham, they say. What is it actually speaking is, your memory of it is triggered and you're getting the smell. So the same, he uses this to explain Anyata khyati. What is Anyata khyati? घर में लॉकर में सिल्वर है ना, you have in your locker at home you have a silver. हाँ. What is here? Shell. So you saw the shell, it triggered your memory of silver. Those two perceptions you missed up. Silver there is real. So ये भी ख्याति है, वो भी ख्याति है. This is knowledge, that's also knowledge. There is no error except mixing up the two perceptions. Correct? Are you getting it? Anyatha, both are real. Anyatha khyati. Yeah, because both are true perceptions. The only thing is you mixed up the perception of it. ये होता है ना, हो सकता है. Yeah, like you thought of amla pickle and you're getting the taste in the mouth, saliva in the mouth means what? है ना? So, anyata khyati. Okay. So, how do you answer this? It is true. If you are seeing the shell and then saying, oh, this is a shell here, and then remembering your silver in your room, it's fine. But here, you are not mixing up the memories. You have not seen the shell. You have only seen silver. Shell dekha hi nahi hai. For that amla pickle, you saw the amla pickle, you know it's amla pickle, then you got the taste of it. Here you have not seen the shell. You are directly seeing silver. So directly seeing the silver, there is only one perception. There is no two mixing up and everything. My salivation, I can explain, that is fine. There it is works. In fact, there also is not alaukika pratiksham. Your memory is being triggered off. Yeah, because you have eaten amla pickle before and your memory is being triggered off and you are. That's all that is happening. Therefore, because there is only one unit perception, it is not anyata khyati. That's what they look at it like that. Yeah. But it's not. Yeah. This much clear? This much is clear, correct? Okay. Then the Kshanika Vijnanavadin comes in. Madhyatmika Bauddha. It's a Buddhist school. He says there is no outside world at all. Okay. What you see is projected as though it's outside. Everything is dependent on your perception. There is no world without your perception. Therefore, all that is there is perception. Therefore, the silver is also imposed on your perception. Shell is also imposed on your perception. सब अंदर ही है. Atmakhyati. Everything is imposed on me because the perception is what is the world. What I call world is nothing but perceptions. And perception is nothing but a series of flickering consciousness. That's all that is there. So everything is imposed on me. Where is Adhyasa? Yeah. So, as Zen master has a nice answer to this. Let's see. Two Kshanikavadins are arguing on that. How whole world is nothing but perception. So that time a Vedanta Acharya is walking by. So this whole Khyati comes up. So he says, is that rock that is lying there outside or inside? It's all inside only. Not a wonder you can understand. You cannot understand anything. So you've got a big rock sitting in your mind. If you take everything is inside, where is your vyavahara? Where is your functioning? This is called subjectivism in Western thought. If everything is subjectivism, there is no reality other than what you think or feel, then one thing, by thought you should be able to change the outside world. अरे यार करेला सब्जी दिया मेरे को अच्छा नहीं लगता है. Let me make it batata sabji. Because this character likes batata. Kerala is healthier, eat karela. But I thought I should be able to change it. No? Does that happen? If thought, if perception is reality, then I change my perception, I will look at it as batata, it should change into batata. नहीं होता है. नहीं होता है ना. अरे यार, this Gujarati girl came and gave me jalebi. No, I don't like jalebi. Let me change it into Rasagulla. घर में क्या पड़ा है? Some pieces of stone are there. Stone is not useful for me. Gold is useful. Let me change it into gold. I will contemplate on it long enough and I'll see it only as gold. All shining then. When I look outside, it's still stones only, nothing else. Subjectivism does not hold water. Okay? Yeah, we accept this much. That's why we say nobody lives in the world that is, they live in the world that they make it to be. That much of subjectivity is there. People don't take things as it is, they take the thing as they want it to be. So what is the problem of being a subjectivist? The problem of being a subjectivist is you will bump into reality all the time. Functioning reality. Yeah. So Atmakhyati is also not valid. But this is how the Kshanika Vijnanavadan explains it. Clear up to now?
Swamiji, the Anyata Khyati,
Hmm?
can you please explain with reference to Atma? Like I got that Shiva and said, I'm not able to place it with.
So you are seeing something and remembering something else.
How does it mean? What means?
So you can't apply it to the Atma, really speaking. Because you are not seeing the Atma, number one.
Yeah, you are not
Yeah.
saying.
And even if you are in terms of I am, okay, you're saying I am. Then he's saying, but you remember what you were somewhere else, something that you experienced about yourself, and you're mistaking that now. But that doesn't really gel. Anyata Khyati doesn't gel with respect to the Atma. It can't be, it's very difficult to apply that to the Atma. But that's how they explain error in the world. See, very often, your explanation of something will depend upon the view that you subscribe to. Like, I noticed this when my father was dying. Okay, I knew he was going. A little bit that deep breathing had started. The prana wants to, but at the same time struggling to remain in the body. I had called the doctor. I said, "Doctor, I think he's going. Can you come and have a look at him?" He said, "Yeah. I've not yet started practice. No, it's 4 o'clock. So he started practice at 6. By the time he finishes lunch, etc., it is 3 o'clock. Family doctor. They're about 4:30. They said, "Yeah, I'll come before I go to this thing. I'll come." And we are both looking at it. What is happening is my father is dying. That is objective. This. How are you going to explain it? Now I am seeing prana functioning. What I have inside my mind. Udana has started functioning, but he is struggling because he doesn't know the process of death. Therefore, he is struggling to keep himself alive. But the prarabdha is over, he has to quit. So there is a bit of a struggle there. I can see that. The doctor is saying, these are the last gaps of a dying brain. The struggle of a brain that is dying. So that is his perception. This is my perception. What we are seeing is someone dying. You are explaining depending on what it is. How do you know which is true? This is a problem in the world. How do you know which is true? So in the world, what we will take is whatever works, works. So I perceived it as a struggle between the will to live and my father was always someone who was strong and fighting it out. So I walked up to him, held his hand, says, "Dad, it is okay. Go ahead on your journey. Mom and all I'll take care of." Immediately he quieted down and he slipped away. Now the same thing, the doctor will say, "No, the brain stopped fighting." Why? Because brain is not functioning, everyone can. That much is seen. What is behind that will depend upon what is your perception. How much are you seeing more than what is there? Since in science everything has to be objectified and quantified, you cannot see the other part. You are limiting your perception to only this. We are not limiting it, we are expanding it. But it is still limited, okay? Yeah. Still limited. So similarly here, depending upon your view, your metaphysics, will you try to explain the world? No? So the error that you are noticing is explained in terms of your metaphysics. One thing is sure, there is error there. Why? You thought it was a shell, you walk and to pick it up, it turned out to be shell, not silver. What you saw was silver, sorry, my mistake. What you saw was silver, you went to pick it up and it turned out to be shell. That pravarti shows it is not mere memory. If you are seeing the shell there and remembering silver, you won't go to pick it up. You say, I hope my silver is safe at home. You will not walk to pick it up. Yeah. Unless you have a childlike habit of picking up shells and things like that. That's a different thing. Yeah. But then you're picking up shell, not silver.
Can I ask a question? So one is like perception when you're actually seeing it.
Yeah.
Another one is erroneous perception
Exactly.
and plus memory.
Yeah. So erroneous perception is what we call adhyasa.
So here also in panchakhayati also they are using Adhyasa.
Beg your pardon?
In panchakhayati also they are using Adhyasa.
Yeah. They are saying that it is not, it is a question, it is not that there is no error in the perception. How are you going to explain that error is a question? And Adhyasa says, it's only a mistake of two perceptions. One memory and one perception is mixed up. So the silver is real, shell is also real. Both are real. You mixed up the perception.
So a question with respect to Atma. First of all, Atma you don't see. Also it is advitiyam.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why this khyati is not acceptable. But they have to explain in terms of their metaphysics, in terms of their philosophy. Same thing with Atma Khyati. Everything is only perception. There is no outside world. Yeah. Exactly. There are two real things. Shell is also real. The silver is also real.
There is a basic fallacy of not being able to explain the Atma. There is a whole school based on this.
So when you start off, where do you know the Atma? See, think of these guys. One second. Think there are two characters. Okay? They are recognizing that what they thought was silver turned out to be seashell. This much is factual. How are both going to explain it? Why did I give the example of my father's death? Both will explain depending on what is inside. Na? The doctor and me looking at the same thing. Why are we giving two different explanations for the same thing? Depends on what you perceive the world. So one guy is saying it's only a mixture of perception. Other guy is saying everything is perception anyway, so it's a mixture, mistake happened. So what? Atma Khyati. Mistake is here. My mind only. Everything is projection of my mind. The shell and the silver both are projections of my mind. So, because error is a fact of life. You can't change that. The world is not what you appear. You will find these mistakes happening in the world. Why did I talk about when that inquiry, that eagle flying over the coconut tree? Same thing. You are observing something, drawing conclusions. Whole of science is that now, to observe and draw conclusions. To observe and draw conclusions. That's how the whole thing is. So here also you are observing and drawing conclusions. Now you have drawn some conclusions. Now you have a set philosophy. With that set philosophy you are looking at the world. One guy's set philosophy is Everything is projection of the mind. So he'll say both are projections, atmakhyati. The other guy is taken, everything is real. There is nothing like unreal. Everything is that you see is real. So anyata khyati, two mistakes mixed up. One memory and one perception mixed up. That is your two perception. Silver is also real, this is also real. You just mixed up two perception. Why are they doing that? Whether you are asatkyati or satkhyati, you have to dismiss Adhyasa. It's only when you dismiss Adhyasa can you dismiss Vedanta. Therefore, the whole attempt by all the four schools that we are going to see, two schools we have seen today, all the four schools is to dismiss the fact of Adhyasa. Because if you dismiss Adhyasa, there is Jnanam alone is not enough then. Jnanena moksha is gone. It's only if there is Adhyasa can you present Jnanena moksha. If there is no Adhyasa, how can you say Jnanena moksha? By knowledge you are going to gain moksha, how can you say that? And if by knowledge you are not going to get moksha, then you are going to get it by karma. If you are going to get it by karma, it's not moksha anyway, it's finite. So in a way, by saying these, they are trapping themselves into karma. Or, like the Vijnanavadin will say, quieten your mind. Get the mind to shut up. No more Vijnana. Alata Shanti. If it is taken like that. Some of you are doing Mandukya, done with either with me or with Swamini, right? You are doing that. So Alata Shanti there. That's why in Alata Shanti what is given? Lot of arguments are given. It is not just quieting the mind. It is not a simple quietening by keeping quiet. It is refuting all the arguments. Prathama Malla Nyaya and all that will come there in Alata Shanti Prakarana. Why? Because that's how the whole thing is. It's not simple quietening. The spandanam that the mind creates, ideas, conjectures, opinions, that has to be negated. That is negated. Yeah. So are you getting the whole picture then? Yeah. So there we are. Two kyatis we have seen. Okay. Anirvachani you have already understood.
Swamiji,
Yeah.
both are real. That time also there is no Adhyasa.
Yeah.
Both are unreal. That time
I also in a way there is no. Yeah. Exactly. So
Atmakhyati, no, it is in the mind there.
the whole thing is in the mind.
In the mind. So the mind is real.
Yeah.
That is
Mind projection. That's it.
So the Buddhist, that is why
So
they
the
talk
only thing is in Atmakhyati, the functioning world is also projected. The error is also projected. So everything is based on myself.
everything is based on the mind.
Yeah. Mind, not mind, me. Atma. Because what is Atma according to them? Kshanika Vijnanavadin. Flickers of consciousness. Yeah.
So why they have so much emphasis on quietening the mind? And
Because otherwise how will you understand the truth? Your mind is always flickering, creating all these spandanam. Quieten it down, only then you will know the truth. Therefore, your sense of I becomes an illusion created by the series of flickers. So if you question Vijnanavadin further, you will end up with Shunyavada. What is there between two flickers? If you quieten the flicker, there is no flicker. Only Shunyameva Satyam. That's the next step. That will come next class. About Shunyavadin saying this. Are you seeing that? Yeah. Because somewhere you have to dismiss Adhyasa to dismiss Vedanta. This Satyam Mithya has to be dismissed. Because that's all Vedanta is, really speaking. Okay. That's why this Brahma Sutras becomes a little bit deeper level of understanding things.
But then if you say between silence is you, it must be shocking for them.
Yeah, yeah. How do they? Yeah, it was very difficult for them to accept the idea of zero. Yeah. Two things were provided by India to the world in terms of mathematics: zero and infinity, both. Yeah. Both. Zero is what Maya is, infinity is what Brahman is. Yeah, infinity is Brahman. That's why in mathematics you are forced to say tending towards infinity, because mathematics is a process. A process cannot end up at infinity because that will make it finite. Therefore, you have to say tending towards infinity. We don't say that. Why? It happens to be me, yaar. It all stops here. In mathematics, we will also say that tending towards infinity because it's a process. Okay. But how about I?
In a way that sounds so funny, that I'm appearing and disappearing and appearing again every time.
Yeah. See, there in Kshanika Vijnanavadin, literally what is taken is the mind is taken for the Atma. The conscious thought is taken for myself. That is a mistake. Because the conscious thought is nothing but that. No? That is true. You're creating a series of reality by your thinking. There is some truth in it, but not the whole truth. Not the whole truth. Yeah. So world is nothing but your manospandana. This is because they are not accepting different degrees of reality. One absolute reality and other different degrees. It's because of that these issues come up. Yeah. And reality, world, okay, no issues. Yeah.
The body then, if everything is just the mind, then where does the body come for them? Or it's just a
Projection of your mind only.
projection of the mind?
Exactly. Everything. I mean, the whole world is a projection of your mind. What are you talking about your body? Yeah.
Again, this is that black and white and grey, right?
Huh?
They are saying it is black and white.
Yeah. Exactly. The attempt to think in terms of black and white is a problem. Yeah.
Swamiji, in those days, there were panchakhatis.
They were?
There were panchakhatis.
Panchakhayati.
Five khatis, yeah, there. So two we have seen.
Yeah, so Hindu school. Now, I think you should introduce how to refute Christianity, Islam. What do they say? I mean, what
See,
do
they are not sophisticated philosophies. Neither Islam nor Christianity is a sophisticated philosophy.
And Moses, Judaism, it's interesting to know.
Buddhism had a sophisticated philosophy.
Jainism.
Huh? Whereas Christianity, Islam, etc., were more religions. There's not much sophisticated philosophy backing it up. The philosophy backing it up is very simple. What to do, what not to do. Yeah. This is finite world, that is the eternal world. Both limiting each other. Yeah. Whether it is Islam or Christianity or any religion, you take it. This is finite world, that is the eternal world. Therefore, everything you do here is to go to eternal world, where there is eternal life. Therefore, you have to believe in these things, do all these things. That's all. There is a great big philosophy in that. Now, you can make philosophies depending on, okay. Like, they'll say, okay, there are 3-4 conditions to go to heaven. You have to do all the right things. Now, what are the right things? What is mentioned in my book? Avoid all the wrong things. Wrong things are also mentioned. This much is fine. Third point comes in. You have to belong to this group. There is where the problem comes. The first 2 points, even Hinduism talks about it. You have to do all the right things, avoid all the wrong things. Predominantly. You have to do. That's acceptable. So, Hinduism will say anyone who does all the right things and universal dharma, who lives by, they'll all go to heaven. That much we give it to everyone. The third point is added in Occidental religions, that you have to belong to my religion. I know, sometimes I listen to these characters. There is one Zakir Naik. He's wanted in India for terrorism, okay? You see? So someone is arguing with him. But the person is such a good human being. How can you say he will not go? They say, see, you are supposed to pass in 3 subjects to be promoted to the next class. You got 99% in 2 of them, but you failed in 1 of them. Will you get promoted? So you are not a Muslim, then how will you get promoted to heaven? You will not get. This is kitchen logic, school logic, rudimentary. Why? All the logic is used only to defend what is written in the book. Objectively, you are not looking at anything. If by good karma you are going to heaven, then all people who do good karma should go to heaven. Because what happened, then the question should be asked is, what happened to all the jivas who were there before your book came into existence? Human beings have been living for 50,000 years. So what happened to all of them? Was God so partial that he spent it only 1400 years back and condemned all those characters he had sent to earth before that to eternal damnation? What type of a God is that? That's God, because that God is created by me in my head. Conveniently true, for I can do what I want. Yeah. You know, very interesting story in Islam. Prophet married a 6-year-old girl. And he had sexual relationship with her when she became 9-year-old. At that time, Muhammad was in his 50s. How would you look at a 9-year-old girl sexually? There's something wrong here. Why I am saying something wrong? Because that girl's father wanted to marry Muhammad's daughter. When Muhammad's daughter was 15-year-old, he refused, saying she is too young. If you can refuse saying she is too young at 15, how can you sleep with a 9-year-old? Hard questions to be asked. Yeah, Sanchit, you have to ask something.
So I wanted to understand the position of Shanika Vijnanavadi. When he says that there is no outside reality, everything is only a mental thought, mental projection.
Yeah.
Is he considering multiple realities, one for each person separately?
Yeah, he says you're creating a world. Yeah. Those are the flaws in that argument. But at least it's a relatively sophisticated philosophy than the simplicity of Occidental religions, you know. Hardly any philosophy, though they'll make big books about philosophy of this. It's all trying to justify or correct or this, what is there in there.
Thank you, Maharaj. Just wanted to-
Yeah. So more of this, we'll see in next class. Good place to stop. Om Tat Sat.